This is it, guys. This is it. The Season 1 finale of WWE Total Divas on WWE Network and Chill, where I break down all the original programming that I watch on the WWE Network. Episode 15, Season 1 of Total Divas here today, entitled Ready to Ride. And this is it for right now for the Total Divas Talking Total Divas, I guess, which you can rename the last 15 episodes of WWE Network and Chill. Because beyond this, I'll talk about it. I'll reveal what I'll be reviewing at the end of this episode, but the next edition of WWE Network and Chill will not be covering Season 2 of Total Divas. That will come down the line. I want to take a break from that for a while. And then the next couple of episodes, the next 9 to 10 episodes of WWE Network and Chill, will be covering another show, another original program on the WWE Network. So stay tuned for that at the end of the episode. But again, guys, this is episode 15, Season 1, the Season 1 finale of Total Divas. So a lot going on. I teased at the end of the Season 1, Episode 14 episode review that shit would get real in the Season 1 finale, and it absolutely did, and it's about to right here on WWE Network and Chill. So Nikki, to kick off the show, we always have some sort of like snippet that has nothing to do with the rest of the episode. It's just random, and it's almost always Nikki or Brie. So Nikki has period problems, and she ensures in herself, she has a test, she does one of those taking tests, whatever, that she's not pregnant. So that's great. Nikki's not pregnant. She thought she was for a second, so that's good. So she has her college friends visit John's house for a bit of a getaway and just kind of hang out and stuff. And his house is absolutely big enough for that to happen. So they can all fit in the house at one time. And they speak to John at dinner about not wanting kids. What an awkward discussion to bring up at dinner of all things. How weird. And it's like not a couple friends. It's like 6 to 7 friends that Nikki Bella brings with her to dinner. To this getaway at her house, or at John's house, technically. So they're all kind of like ganging up on John Cena about why he doesn't want kids. And then John takes Nikki's friends out to dinner. Like I said, they go out to dinner and they're talking about not wanting kids, or John not wanting kids. Or I wrote that they talked about it before they went to dinner. They were in the hot tub and they were like, oh, we always knew that you wanted kids and whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know, but John doesn't really want kids. I'm willing to accept that. And they're like, I don't think you are. So they talk about it again over dinner. And John obviously has concerns over having kids. Never wants to get married again after what happened last time, the whole shit show that was. And he's not going to be there for the kid. He has a lot of great points. And Nikki talks about kids at the engagement party when they go to Brie and Brian's engagement party a little bit later on, which I'll get to the whole deal on that in a second. But yeah, so it gets really awkward at the dinner in that, he talks about, I can't be there for the kid. I live a very selfish lifestyle. Nikki knows that. At least right now, I will miss, absolutely, if we have a kid right now, I will miss the first 10 years of that kid's life. And I don't want to do that. And I just don't want to have a kid. So John, reiterates that. Nikki gets very uncomfortable at dinner. She gets very upset. And she sees some kids at that engagement party, and she talks about having kids at that party. And she talks to her mom about it, and she says, I promise to talk to John. So Nikki gets cleared. She's happy she gets cleared to go back in in-ring action after being out on the shelf for a couple of months, so she's happy about that. So she talks to him about kids, and he says, I can't give you that. And he said, this is where it gets tough, because I can't give you what you want. And he doesn't want to give Nikki false hope. He said, has there ever been one time, at any point, since we started dating a year or so ago, that I gave you false hope and told you that I would want kids? And she said no. She just does not want to resent John in the future, saying, why didn't he ever marry me? And that's why I'm saying, we're going back to the marriage thing for a second, and not just the kid thing. She's wondering why, that if you love me so much, why won't you just marry me? And she doesn't want to wake up one day and say to herself, why didn't he ever marry me, and grow to resent him. So that's her concern with the whole thing, that she wants marriage, she wants kids. Boy, those are two things that John will absolutely guaranteed not budge on. And that's it. That's all we find out from these two for right now. So you got to tune in to Season 2, baby, to find out what happens next with John Cena and Nikki Bella. Are they putting the relationship on the back burner for right now? What's going to happen? He doesn't want kids. She does. What's going to happen next? So we go from there to our next storyline. Natalia gets hungover. Again, what else is new? She's an absolute stupid drunk. I don't think she's actually drunk, because the way that she's talking to Stephanie McMahon, yes, Stephanie McMahon of all people, on the phone when she's drunk, it does not sound like she's intoxicated. So I would not be surprised if this whole thing was completely staged. So, like I said, she called Stephanie McMahon. She drunk-dialed Stephanie. Carano confronts Natalia about it the next day, saying, why the fuck did you do that? And she said, you know what, I just really want a Divas title run. I don't think I can get that if, now after this happened. So she called Stephanie about wanting a Divas title run, which is what she talked about over the phone while she was quote-unquote intoxicated. So they meet up, and she said that Stephanie plays all the voicemails for Natalia as they sit down to talk, and Natalia quits over the phone. She quits when she's drunk. She said, I'll quit if you don't give me a Divas title run. So she's obviously very upset, and Stephanie, accepts her apology, but she says, if you want to talk, just come and talk to me about it. You don't have to do stupid stuff like this, and I have a lot of, pent-up frustration, but if you have that frustration, come and talk to me. And like I said, Natalia really wants to be Divas champion, and Stephanie said, I guarantee you will be Divas champion. You will be Divas champion again one day. And it's been 3 years, and she still hasn't yet to hold that title again. She held it once for like a month or two back in 2010. 6 years ago, this girl last held a championship in WWE. And she's had a number of opportunities in the last couple of years, 2013, a couple of months after this was filmed, actually. She had a couple title shots in 2015, this year, a lot this year, and she always lost. She's a loser. She's a loser. So anyway, that was funny to hear Stephanie say that, because maybe she will at some point. Maybe she will win the SmackDown Women's Championship. But so far, it does not look like she's going to be fulfilling that dream anytime soon, and Stephanie was just bullshitting her. So anyway, like I mentioned, Brie and... should I save that for last? You know what? I'll save the happy ending for last. I think the Eva and Jonathan stuff, who we have not seen in many episodes now, which I'll talk about right now. But I'll save the Brie and Brian stuff for last. We'll end on a happy note here on WWE Network and Show for the Season 1 finale. So we'll get to the Eva stuff first. She has her Raw debut match and wins. She goes to visit her parents with Jonathan, who they don't even know about, let alone even met. She brings him to go see her parents, who she has not seen in a while. But what she also doesn't know is that they're engaged. Remember when Jonathan proposed to Eva on episode 2 of Total Divas? And we have not heard from him since. He's a big fixture on the show in the future, but he was not a fixture on the show all that much. Maybe just because he wasn't on the road with her. I'm not exactly sure what the reason was, but he doesn't show back up until this episode. We see a lot of Jonathan on this show. Way more than he needed to. So like I said, they make a surprise visit to Eva's parents' house with Jonathan, with her future fiance, with her current fiance, someone that they don't know that she's engaged to, someone they don't even know is coming over, and someone that she doesn't even know existed, that the parents don't even know exists. So they meet the mom first, and even she's a little skeptical about the whole thing. The dad is very questionable of Jonathan, the fact that he comes in not wearing a shirt, which was hilarious. If you want to make a good first impression, and I mean the family of Eva's family here, they're a bit harsh on Jonathan. I will give him that. And I like Jonathan. He seems like a fine enough dude. But if you're going to meet your girlfriend's parents for the first time, why the fuck would you show up with a shirt, with a jacket, with a vest, or whatever the fuck he was wearing, without a shirt on? That, to me, sounds like the douchiest thing that you could do. It sounds like, first of all, it's a douche thing to do, period. But to do that when you're going to meet your girlfriend's your fiance's parents for the first time, if you really want to make a good first impression, considering they don't even know you exist yet, why the fuck would you wear a vest without a t-shirt underneath to a dinner of all things? That to me was beyond douchey, and I feel no sympathy in that regard. I feel no sympathy for Jonathan when he did that. That was just stupid. So the brother said, you obviously mean something to us at the moment, which was interesting. So the brothers are very harsh and very protective of Eva, because she was married once before. That guy must have dumped her, or something went wrong, and obviously now they're very hesitant to allow anyone else into their lives, or to allow Eva, and allow someone else into Eva's life, considering how that ended. And like I said, he wears no shirt, which was fucking stupid. So they go from that to a rocky start to dinner, to Jonathan asking for the dad's blessing in marriage. Really? So he meets him for the first time. He shows up with a vest with no shirt on, and then asks him for a blessing. Really, this guy is the dumbest. He's either got to have the biggest balls in the face of this earth, or he's got to be the biggest idiot. And I gotta say, it's the latter. It's got to be the latter, just because this guy is such a moron that he would do something so dumb. And obviously, he says flat out no. The dad gets pissed. He says, I am absolutely not giving you my blessing. And he said, it was one of the brothers, I think it was the dad. He goes, if you get divorced, you will never step foot in this house again. And Eva gets really emotional, so they just leave. They literally just walk out, and they plan on a quick wedding in Vegas or something. They walk out. Eva feels bad because she's close with her mom, and she feels bad leaving her mom standing there in the driveway. But they're like, what the fuck are we going to do? And they said, we love each other really much. Why don't we just get married quick in Vegas? And Eva's like, let's do it. Let's do it. Or she suggested the idea, and he's like, I don't care where we get married. I just want to marry you right now. So Eva, she has to work 40 days straight, so they can't do the quick wedding. She wants a traditional wedding anyway, so it's not really going to work out that way. And she said, I just can't get married right now. So that's it for Eva and John on this episode. John and Jonathan. There's a lot of Johns. John Uso, John Cena, Jonathan. A lot of Johns on Total Divas. A lot of husbands, boyfriends, fiancés that are all named John. But that's where they leave off. They do not get married to end out the season. So things escalated very quickly. It's like they shoved 3 episodes of storyline progression with Jonathan and Eva all into one. And it made for the most awkward encounter of all time between Eva, Jonathan, and her family. Just complete awkwardness. So like I said, I do want to end the episode on a happy note here, on a high note. Brian and Brie go on a great getaway. Like I talked on my previous episodes of Total Divas, he feels bad that he can't be there for Brie because he's been really busy lately with media, being on the road. So they go on a great getaway. They go on a hike. And he said, I could not have planned it any better, because he then proposes to Brie Bella after saying the amount of years, months, and days that they've been dating for, which was great. A great little touch there. He proposes to her at the top of some mountain. Obviously, she says yes. She doesn't go, yes, 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 like Daniel Bryan, but she said yeah or whatever it was, or she said I love you. I forgot. Or, oh, yes, or whatever. She didn't say it in the way that you would think, considering that she is now marrying Daniel Bryan. So he takes her through the woods, where there's a band there, for a surprise engagement party. What a sweetheart. What if she said no? Obviously, she wasn't going to, but how hilarious would that have been? Daniel Bryan comes back to the woods. You see the whole family standing there. You see they're all sitting down at the table without Brie, and it's just Bryan. Sorry, guys, she said no. Boo. How great would that be? And Brie says she's on cloud 9, and they incorporate their relationship into the storyline on TV with Randy Orton attacking Daniel Bryan on Raw, which I vividly remember, and Brie Bella coming out to his aid. And her just watching on as Randy Orton beats up Daniel Bryan. So I guess we're kind of ending on a sad note after all. But it's cool. We will see the wedding of Daniel Bryan and Brie, I believe, in the Season 2 finale or the mid-season finale. I forgot what it was. But in Season 2, you will see the wedding of Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. So can't wait for that. But that is the Season 1 finale of Total Divas. And that's it for Total Divas right here on WWE Network and Chill. This episode in particular, by the way, I forgot to mention, is a little bit longer than most of the episodes. It's not 43 minutes in the network. It's about 50, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, really good, strong episode to close out the show. We have no idea what's next between Nikki Bella and John Cena. We have no idea when Eva and Jonathan will get married. Will Natalia ever become Divas champion? The answer is no. Flat no, according to Eva's father. And Brian and Brie get married, so we have that to look forward to as well. So a lot of, engaging cliffhangers, which is funny because they didn't get married on a cliff, but Brian did propose to Brie on a mountain, so I guess that is somewhat relevant of a pun. But anyway, the next couple episodes of WWE Network and Chill will not be covering Season 2 of Total Divas. That will be coming up down the line. So if you're anxious to find out what happens next, check out the show on the WWE Network, but I will not review it ASAP. I'll be reviewing that down the line. So drum roll, please. Coming up on the next few episodes of WWE Network and Chill, the next 10 episodes to be exact, I will be reviewing Legends House, Season 1, the first and only season. I have yet to watch it back, actually, since it initially aired, and I've been wanting to do so ever since Roddy Piper passed away about a year or so ago. So I'm looking forward to watching the show back and reviewing it for you guys right here on WWE Network and Chill. Bit of a different format as we start out with Total Divas. It's going to be more play-by-play because there's not separate storylines for Legends House. It's really this happened, that happened, whatever. So that will be coming up right here on the show in the very next episode of WWE Network and Chill, so stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, be sure to follow me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant, on Facebook at the Polygonal Thumbs Up, at facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews, and right here on YouTube, please support the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I almost said supporting, but supporting too, I guess, subscribing as well. And all that stuff is greatly appreciated. So guys, have an amazing week or weekend, whatever it might be. Be well, stay safe. I'll check you out in the very next episode of WWE Network and Chill. Until then, I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.